right, welcome to the FAI Art Studio. Man, we are so excited about being here. I am Annie Ruth.
And I'm Kanaya Carter.
All right, and we've got an awesome title for you called Reimagine and Recreate with Purpose. And so we're going to dive right into what we're doing. We want you to get some really great things out of this session. And so a lot of it is self-healing. And my golden rule is everyone is creative. And I think there's, particularly in your work, there's some great things that you want them to get out of this too, right?
Yes. What I would like for y'all to get out of this is to know that art builds self-esteem and creativity, and knowing that you can process your thoughts through working out a piece of art.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I have actually been there where art has helped to just make me feel relaxed. And even when I try not to create when I'm angry though. Mm-hmm. I try to process more of my intellectual, like teach a lesson through the artwork
Right.
too. And that's what we're here to do. So there's two key things we want you to remember. There's two words, don't ever forget. The first word is perspective. I know you've heard that word before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perspective. And a lot of times when people from an artistic point hear the word perspective, what it simply is how we look at an object from a given point. So if I'm an artist and I'm looking at the world or image, the closer I am to that image, it's going to appear bigger. And then the further away I am from that image, it's going to appear smaller. So repeat after me. You got to, girl, say perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah, so you got a perspective. The second word I want you guys to know is perception. Let me hear you say perception.
Perception.
There we go. I saw a little dance move going on there, right? Okay, so perception is the way I process what I'm taking in. So our perception is actually influenced by so many things, from our family values, our culture, the way we're raised, the way we do things, and even the way you might feel on a given day. Like if my stomach is hurting, it might influence the way I'm looking at something.
Yeah.
So say perception.
Perception.
Yeah, you got to give it a head, Rob. Perception.
Perception.
All right, there we go. So what we want to do is we want to take those elements, and then we're going to do a little exercise called What Do You See? Here we go. So my question is, what do you see in this artwork? And so I'm kind of process. I'll let you let that sink in. And don't forget that lesson of perception and perspective, right? All right, so give me some, what do you see?
So what I can tell is that you have mixed mediums in this piece. You have kente cloth throughout the hair, and then you have Bible scriptures of a virtuous woman included into your art.
Okay, and we're gonna call you Radar Eye Kanaya, because girl, I'm like, wow. Because even if I didn't know I put that in there, I would have thought, you sure it's a virtuous woman
Right.
scripture? Yeah, so it actually means that you can take your own experiences and bring it to the canvas. And my experience is, I wanted it to depict the multicultural women. I wanted it to actually give you the illusion that the hair could be a head covering too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no right or wrong answer, because you as a viewer bring as much of your experience to the artwork as the artist shares the message.
So as we talk about the perception and perspective, I created this piece, this abstract piece, through a time when my grandma's health wasn't doing the best. And as we talk about like stress relieving and art, this was a big stress relieving piece for me. And so, you know, when you look at this, like, what do you see?
Let me see. I mean, you know what? I see strength. It feels like I see like a man's forehead too. I see the eyes, but I do see the strength. It's almost like I feel like the eyes of God are looking at me.
Right. So that was actually the focus for this piece. So like the name of this piece is called Vision Through the Storm. And if you can think about a storm, you see all the blues, the shades of blues, then the black and the white. And there are eyes depicted in the piece to show that even through the storm, you can have tunnel vision and see the better that's coming. having vision through the storm, not giving up through the storm. So that was the drive for this piece. I was just in my room, I put on some gospel music, and I just started painting. And it'll just show you, like, anyone can be creative. Like, it's just an outpour of what's inside of you in whatever medium you want, like paint, the Mod Podge torn paper we just did, clay, whatever. So
I'm loving that. That is awesome. Now that's a piece that should be on everybody's wall. So you already know a good place to check to find out where to get it. Kanaya Carter and FAI Art Studio. Ready? Are you ready to dive into this thing, girl?
I'm ready.
All right. So our activity for you all is called torn tissue paper. And the great thing about torn tissue paper, all you need is, you can go to the dollar store, get you some tissue paper. They come in multicolored packs, a pencil, a canvas. This right here, I love this because blank canvas, 8 by 10. Man, you can get it at anywhere like Walmart, Dollar Tree, any place like that. I like to get them wholesale. Where do you get yours from?
I get most of my canvases from Hobby Lobby in like a classroom pack, or just like a small 5-pack or 6-pack.
Yeah, and you can even go to the thrift store. So that's my friend. I am like a thrifty, frugal girl, so I find stuff at the thrift store too. So all right, you ready to dive in?
I'm ready.
All right, so we're gonna let Kanaya take you through. There's 2 ways you can do this. This stuff right here is called Mod Podge, and what it is basically a nice glue sealer glaze, kind of all in one. It's very inexpensive as well. You can actually get them in a big gallon jug too. So torn tissue paper collage, the Mod Podge and the brush. We have actually poured our Mod Podge into some cups here. So she's going to dive right into that example and take you through. You can do the torn tissue paper design with cut tissue paper and scissors, or you can tear them. So Kanaya is going to actually show you the cut version of it, and I'm going to show you the torn version.
Yes, so like she just said, this is called torn tissue paper, but if you would like for your lines to be a little more neater than just, like taking a piece of scrap and then, filling the line, you can pre-cut your shape. So on our canvas, we have a sketch of a sunflower, and you can pre-cut the tissue paper to be the shape of the petal, and it can go just directly into the outline that you will have on your canvas. And what you'll basically do is take the Mod Podge, place it or brush it in whatever direction you're gonna go with your tissue paper, and you'll just place it in the outline or wherever, however you want to paste it, and give it a finishing like glaze of the Mod Podge, and it'll go just like that. And you can repeat the step, and what you'll see is it'll start to layer and overlap, and that'll give you a different design as well, because you'll see the overlapping petals. Because when you look or when you think of a sunflower, there are many different elements to a sunflower. Like sometimes the middle is orange, or sometimes the petals are overlapping, and it'll display through however you paste your tissue paper.
Oh man, I like that. I noticed too, like even when we're overlapping that tissue paper, it kind of seems to give it even a darker tint.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want your tissue paper or your final product to be filled in, because if you can see when you paste the tissue paper one layer, you can still see a little bit of the white canvas. So if you want to multi-layer to just have a thicker like base of a flower, then you can take multiple strands of paper and just place it on top.
Oh, okay, so like double layer it.
So double layer each petal, or you don't have to. It's all up to like preference. But as you can see, like the layer got a little darker as I put the same amount of tissue paper on top of one petal.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Hold that thought though, because I'm going to show you that the flip side of that is the torn tissue paper. So it's, you can just take your tissue paper, no particular way to tear it. It's just, to me, imagine yourself kind of like de-stressing, like, to tear it. So the key thing I like to tell people is remember with this Mod Podge, it's glue and it's a sealer. So you want to make sure you're brushing it down. And then I like to emphasize, keep your brush, you don't want to have like a puddle of Mod Podge, but you don't want your brush too dry either. So as I put my little image down here, it's torn, and I'm just brushing it down. My little key phrase when I'm like doing sessions, and you know, I always be making songs out of stuff. I'd be like, brush it smooth, brush it smooth. So we're gonna brush it smooth. So all right, so see right there, even though I have a guideline to go by, see sis, even though I got my guideline, it doesn't matter. So I know my background, sometimes I kind of lay the petals first. So let me kind of brush down a little Mod Podge, brush down the petal. Kind of tear it, that's a little pointed tear, brush down the petal. All right, now I'm gonna just keep, I like to put on a little gospel or a little jazz, and then just brush down the petal and brush it smooth. I was working with my nephew, not my nephew, my grandson the other day, and he was so precise. He was like, BB is Swahili for grandma. So he said, BB, I got some glue on my finger. I'm like, oh Lord. So what I did was, for the kids who don't want to have glue on their finger, or the participants who, you know, got a little rag close by. But what he was doing, he was sitting there, he would tear his pieces, and he'd sit there, he was just like this, girl, watch. He was like, this 4-year-old, I was like, man, look at that
Very
concentration.
precise, yes.
So it can be as relaxing or as precise as you want it to be.
All preference.
Now, oh yeah, I'm going to show you something that I'm doing with the petals. So like once I get my petals in there, okay, my overlap. Okay, so the great thing is we've got those pencil lines, right?
Right.
Pencil lines are guiding you through. Like say you want to get to your background, and in this case, I think might want my black background blue. So here we go. I actually take it in there and then start building upon the background with some good overlap there. And the great thing is too, if you have different shades of blue with your tissue paper, you can get that through the tissue paper, or you can actually get it through overlapping
Right,
too.
overlapping.
Yeah. It looks like you've been doing some extra work on yours. Let me see what you got there. Want to show us?
So right now I'm just working on the petals. I like to do the petals first, or the main idea of the picture first, and then go in and do the background. So I'm just working on pasting my petals and seeing the transparency of the tissue paper, and where I would like to put more tissue paper to create a deeper color.
Okay, now my question to you is, when you're doing your petals and you've got the different colors in there, are you adding the different color by inspiration and flow of the artwork, or do you have like a pre-planned version of it?
So it's just all based on feel, like however you feel or I'm feeling in the moment. Like if I want to go ahead and just add this orange petal in to give it a little bit more color or saturation than just the yellow,
Okay.
and then I'll just go in, place the orange right there.
Oh, I
and
like
it'll
that.
just blend
That's nice.
right
So
in.
it really makes that pop.
Yes.
I like that. And I'm loving this too, that we're both unique artists, and my focus again to the audience is that everyone is creative. So there's no right or wrong way to
Yeah.
do your design. There's no better or worse. Everyone is creative. That's the gift that God has given us from creation.
Right.
So, you know, what we're going to do, we're going to fast forward and actually show them some of our finished work. Because we're going to take our time and detail this, but we want you to show the finished piece just like if you were baking something. So you got a finished piece. You want to show them a finished piece of a cut? So there we go.
So this is one of my finished piece of me cutting the tissue paper instead of tearing it. So what I did was I went ahead and Mod Podge the whole blank canvas first, and took a single sheet of pink tissue paper. Then I went back over this pink and placed the pre-cut petals that I had already cut on top of the single sheet of tissue paper. Now this was easier because the tissue paper was already wet, and I didn't need to continue to paste in the segment that I wanted the tissue paper in. So it was easier just to cut it and lay it on top of the tissue paper. However, when I did get finished with the whole piece, I went ahead and Mod Podged the whole thing so it can have a glossier finish.
Yeah.
I did not have a sketch on this canvas, so it was just like by hand, and naturally it created a sunflower circle in the middle.
I like that. So it evolved organically.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with mine, I actually did, and I want to show you guys too. I actually did a pre-drawn sketch with that version, and did the torn tissue paper design. Something unique about this: the tissue paper actually has a printed design in the background, so you don't have to use solid color tissue paper to do your work. Here's my work. Here's one actually done by my 4-year-old grandson. Wow, my precision fella, we want to call him. But what I want to show people is when this is done, the 8 by 10 is a very standard size. Let me see your picture right there. So you can actually, with your 8 by 10, once your piece is done, these little mats, they sell them in Walmart, and let me see one. So if you were to get a mat, bam, you can put a mat around your artwork, right? And then tape it. And then guess what? Or you can just pop it right into an open back frame, and you've got something that you can hang on your wall and be, man, so proud of. But we had a theme that we had with the sunflower. We particularly, and then the whole project in general. Yeah. It is about pieces. Broken pieces and torn pieces.
Yes, so when you think about the torn tissue paper project, it's like all these little small pieces fitting together to make a masterpiece. So if you just apply that to your life and think like, I am a whole piece of broken pieces that make up one beautiful masterpiece.
Oh my goodness. And the lesson that I thought about was when the potter's house, and it actually on the potter's wheel, and it got broken and made over again. And that's what it's all about. We all collectively working together are pieces that make up one whole, great with the FAI family, but also pieces of our lives and experience that make us who we are. So we hope and pray that this has been, man, a wonderful session for you all. We've enjoyed it.
Yes.
All righty. So our hope for you, of course, is that we thank you for being here with us, and we hope you're going to join us again. And you got some closing words you want to share with them, girl?
Don't be afraid to create whatever you want to create. There's no right or wrong way to make art, because we're all creatives and we all have the ability to create.
It is. And I'm going to close with a quick prayer and say, Lord, we just thank you for this time and for the people who took out time to spend with us. We pray that you remind them daily that they are creative vessels. Don't have to judge themselves on what anybody else is doing, but just pour out wholeheartedly what you poured into them. Thank you for being with us all. You want to blow me a kiss, girl? Here we go. Love y'all.
Love you.